and welcome back to Always Off Brand. I am your co-host, Summer Jubileer, along with Scott Oshman.
Good morning, Summer.
And we've got Haley Brucker. Haley in the news.
Hello.
Hi, y'all. So excited to be back. I just got back from a family trip.
Yes.
Yes.
So I like how you didn't call it a vacation. It's just a family trip.
Family trip. And now that's exactly what summer vacation's about, right? Building memories and suffering with a smile.
Is there a sarcastic undertone?
Well, is it like your camping trip to Yellowstone?
Similar.
Oh.
I don't know what it's with the Jubileers, but like most families, when they go on vacations, they go to monuments and memorials and they check out the area. We go to ERs. Like I could give you like ratings of different ERs in almost every single city I've been to.
You haven't told me this story.
Haley, we literally, I've been to La Jolla and had to go to, I guess it wasn't in La Jolla, but yeah, in San Diego, Philadelphia, Minneapolis. Name a city I've traveled to.
Vancouver, British Columbia. That's one of your all-time faves.
Oh yeah, the hockey capital of the world.
Yeah, didn't love Canada's ER. It was cheap though, $300. I was like,
so what
Canadian.
What happened on this recent trip?
We're in Bend, Oregon. We're unpacking. The kids are like, hey, can we go riding bikes? And I'm like, my kids are serious mountain bikers. We have the full headgear, the pads, all the stuff. And I was like, yeah, Reese, put on your pads and everything. He's like, Mom, we're just riding around the neighborhood. Like, we're not going to be doing jumps. I'm like, okay, fine. Parent mistake number one.
Uh-oh.
An hour later, they came back. Reese's chin is like dripping blood. They found a skate park and decided to be doing tricks. And Reese got dared because everybody always dares my son because he'll say yes. He gets dared. He crashes. His elbow's bleeding. His knee's bleeding. I'm like, well, look at his chin. You open it. Yep. Going to the ER. Went to the ER. Got stitched up. And all I kept thinking about was, oh my God, Bend is where like the next ER Grey's Anatomy should be filmed because the doctors in Bend, Oregon.
Everybody's beautiful in Bend.
Got a second?
Depends on what you need.
Who the hell is Dr. McDreamy?
If you're not watching on the YouTube,
I was stunned. I was like,
yeah, everybody's. It's like Boulder, Colorado. There, it's all the beautiful people.
I was like, is my son okay? Is he all right? Like, thank you so much for taking care of him.
Okay, the question is, did you go back again? Did you make up a reason to go back again?
Well, I went again later to get his stitches removed because this happened 2 hours into our vacation. And I was like, I'll take him. I volunteer as tribute. I'll take him to go get his stitches removed.
Wait, how long were you there?
5 days.
And the stitches only stay in for 5 days?
Well, they told me to come back after 5 days. They thought I'd take him out. They ended up not taking them out because he needs a few more time, a little bit more time.
Oh, bless his little heart, though. But I mean, I'm sure he's a champ about it. He's a hocky player. He's like, this is no big deal.
Okay, if I had my chin with stitches and like sticking out like I have a mini goatee, I would be laying in bed for days. I'd be like, I can't, it hurts. The next day, this kid's up on the top of the mountain trying to kill his mother, mind you. He was like, Mom, let's take this trail, this mountain biking trail. It's not hard.
Hey, seriously, is this safe?
50-50.
50-50, what, like 50% we live, 50% we die?
Guys, I don't know why people like to ride down trails with roots this high, sticking out, jagged rocks everywhere, going off of hills and bumps that are taller than me. I'm 5'10". I got on top of this hill, and like one of our riders comes up behind me. And they're like, Summer, you don't stop at the top of the bump. And I was like, I don't know how to get down. I don't know how to get down.
You've
got me up here.
Down?
I did.
Yeah.
Yes. And I couldn't get off the trail. You can't go off the trail. The only way is down this trail. And then I hear someone yelling, watch out, there's rocks. I'm like, what the fuck? Why do human beings create these things for themselves? Was
it a single track?
It was a single track.
Single track, wrong. Okay.
Yeah. And then I get down at the bottom of the trail. Everyone turns to look at me. Wasn't that awesome? Everyone's smiling. I was like, no. No, that was not awesome.
No, that was not
I
awesome.
thought I was going to die. I thought I was going back to the ER. In fact, I'm going to chuck myself off this mountain so I can go to the ER because that's a lovely place.
So when you guys moving to Bend? Is this in the?
I do like Bend. I looked at the housing though, and that is not a savings.
No, this Bend
Well,
is
it's probably the
booming.
same as where you are now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always wanted to retire in Bend because it's one of the few places where you can ski in the morning and golf in the afternoon.
Yeah, it was it's gorgeous. Loved it there. Been there many times, like growing up as a kid, but seeing it as an adult was really fun.
Well, I'm glad. So injury report, Matt, the engineer, he's fine. He's had a bum wing.
So I've been to the ER 3 times in the last 6 weeks.
This is classic for you.
And Matt went to the doctor Wednesday, and he's recommending surgery. So we're trying to figure out dates.
You guys, it is unbelievable. It is Grey's Anatomy at the Jubilee House.
Oh no, it's not that interesting. It's not.
Well, you know what? Who is interesting is our guest today. I mean, I pubbed him. He was nice enough to take a meeting with me in 2014 out of the blue. I had started the Cairn Company. I had saw what Channel Advisor was doing. I was in the Vendor Central Amazon. I'm like, man, these third-party guys, they have all these cool tools. And the guy leading it, I went out there. He spent a couple hours with me. He taught me so much, the technicality. I said, I want the 3P software for 1P for vendor. I want the Seller Central. I want all the good stuff for vendor. And he basically said, yeah, that'd be great. But you know what? We can't really. It's not really, the timing wasn't good. That's not as possible. And we'll start the music. I'll bring him to the stage. I got a special little thing. If you don't know who he is, I don't know. I mean, my goodness, this guy, obviously the chairman and co-founder of Channel Advisor. He had Spiffy, which I'm still bitter because there's not any in Seattle that I know of. He's now on to his next entrepreneurial, the Retail Gentic podcast, by the way, driving up the charts. He's, of course, famed with Jason Goldberg, Retail Geek Goldberg, Jason and Scott show. Now starting RefiBuy.ai. Ladies and gentlemen, to the stage, Scot Wingo.
Hey, guys. I'm super pumped. I need you to do my intro wherever I go. Next speaking gig, I'm going to fly you in.
Scott's a pro.
I'm there. I actually had some your Gentic AI. I got some notes on your open there, but we'll talk later.
All right.
But
I have your people call my people.
Yeah. If you don't know this, I just pulled this. This is what I've been listening to since November of 2015. This is what I've started. All my podcasting started with this drop.
Jason, Retail Geek Goldberg. And as usual, I'm here with your co-host, Scot Wingo.
Hey, Jason, and welcome back, Jason and Scott Show listeners.
Isn't that just calming? It's just,
That's
love
me.
it.
Yeah.
That's you.
The weirdest thing about doing a podcast for so long is I'll go to shop talks and NRF things and be in line at Starbucks and order, and either Jason and I, and we'll talk, and people will turn around because there's no audio on that. They don't know what we look like. But once we talk, they're like, wait, I recognize that. It's weird. You can see like people looking around like, is that one of those guys? It's funny. You're like, are you Jason? I was like, I'm Scott.
Well, anyway, you taught me a lot then. Then you got me at what used to be one of the largest conferences, the Internet Retail Conference in Chicago, up with Scott, with Mr. Heller. Got to speak at that, which you did enormous tracks there. That was huge. I went to your conferences. I mean, I've basically been a groupie for a long time, Mr. Wingo.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Got to feed the fans.
Absolutely. So other than you're starting a brand new business, what have you been up to?
As you know, I started Spiffy to kind of explore this idea of what does it look like if we combine e-commerce and services. That was fun. So learned a lot from that and kind of got back into core e-commerce once I got that AI bug. So just couldn't stop. I think it's going to be so exciting and change everything in our world. And, we can go into that. But I did have some notes for you. I listened to your Prime Day recap, and let me I kind of summarized it like this. You loved the 4 days. You are proposing a move to 7, 14, 30, maybe even Prime Day summers.
Everybody's speculating, are they going to do 4 days again next year? Hell to the yes, they are. Are you kidding me? Faux shizzle, they are. They're going to do 4 days. Shit, they might make it 5 days. They might just say, you know what, screw it. Let's just make it a full week.
Maybe it's like seasonal, Prime Day, fall, summer, spring. You liked that. All your deals crushed it.
It's the worst Prime Day ever. Okay.
So that was exciting to hear. The shipping was flawless. I like to hear that too.
I ordered something on Wednesday to get here Thursday. I'm recording this the following Wednesday. It has been 1 week. Still not here.
And then this was an important one because I caught how you slipped this in here, that you bought golf balls, but they're not for you. It's for the other people in your party that may splash a ball, but that never happens to Scott. So do I have the summary right there?
You're pretty spot on. Pretty spot on.
All right. More days in Prime Day. I message received. I'll message Andy and Jassy and see if he'll expand it to 8, at least 8 for you.
Scott's friend Andrew.
Yeah, I call him Andrew. We're tight like that. Yeah.
Okay. I call him Jassy. We go.
Well, you either go. Yeah. You guys you have that whole computer science background. You probably.
Yeah, we geek out.
Yeah, you geek out and all that stuff. Well, thank you for the recap on the post-game Prime Day. Pretty much all the opposite of what you just said.
In all seriousness, I've known you since 2014, and you're getting progressively grumpier.
I know.
We need to get you on my job of today's podcast. I'm going to try to cheer you up, buddy. You're kind of in a slump. We need to get you
Summer's pretty good at keeping him in line here while we're recording. So
I always love a curmudgeon, though.
Yeah. Well, I worry Summer's going to put him in the ER. Thank goodness you're not in Summer again. I don't know if it's a proximity thing or what, but
I don't know.
A little scary.
Okay. So let's get right into it. First of all, what is Refi by AI? What are you doing over there? What's happening?
Yeah, so a couple things inspire me. So number one, you didn't go through it, but I started Channel Advisor 2001, and
wow,
we had this idea. We're only helping people sell on eBay, and they were like, marketplaces are going to be a thing. And then 7 years later, Amazon came out with one. That was a long 7 years there. I was doubting myself for about 6.5 years.
Wow.
And but then it happened, and as you know, that worked out really well. It took it public and all that good stuff. So but then, having sat on the sidelines and looking more objectively at e-commerce, I feel like it's stagnated in the last 10 years. And you can see it in the data. Our percent of online versus online is kind of hovering around 16. Or Jason, my other podcast, he likes to argue this because he takes a bunch of stuff out and it's like 20. Let's call it 16 to 20. But either way, it's basically flatlined. And you can kind of like, I think that's overall what's happening to your Prime Day experience. I think e-commerce is just kind of flattened out.
Yeah.
And, the most exciting thing is TikTok, which I get, but it just feels kind of like a very certain segment that's going to be interested by that. And so I feel like we've kind of lost innovation in our space. And a lot of it is because Amazon is just so dominant and they have no incentive to innovate. They're just sitting there actually just monetizing and just like getting fat on the hog. Amazon ads is 60 million annual business. You guys all are very familiar with that and contribute your portion, I'm sure, for your clients, you and your clients. And that's just pure margin. And that actually, I think that's destroyed the user experience personally.
100%.
Yeah, there you go.
100%.
So I was kind of thinking, well, what if AI changes all this? And my thesis was, and I thought this was going to take 5 years to play out, and it's taken 5 months. This is kind of what's crazy about AI. My theory is I started looking at data. Most of the consumer data shows that when I say Gen AI, I'm including there's kind of 5 engines I think about. ChatGPT is number 1, Perplexity is number 2, Anthropic, Copilot, and then XAI is kind of in the mix a bit. When people are using them and you do surveys, they first started doing what I would call kind of informational queries or prompts. And then now they're starting to get into more what we call commercial prompts. They're looking for flights. They're looking for products. It's something like anywhere from 40 to 80%, depending on which poll you look at, which is kind of a wide variance, but I think we all see it. And you can see it in your downstream traffic to you guys on your websites, right? So I kind of have this theory that they're going to become marketplaces because over time, having been at this long enough, the hardest thing to do is get consumer mindshare. And when you do, it's super valuable. And I think the best way to monetize it is to commerce, travel, all the commercial things, just like Google has done. They've done it with an ad network. Amazon's done it with a marketplace. eBay's done marketplace. I think that they will become marketplaces. So that was my theory. So then I was like, someone could build the next gen Channel Advisor. And by that, I mean like clean slate. Don't worry about all the old marketplaces. Shoot for where the puck is going, where we're going to have these new ways of selling. And how do we build for that? And what's that look like? So that was kind of what got me really interested.
Anytime you have a hockey reference, I'm all ears.
There you go, hockey mom.
That's
She's like,
so
let's
funny.
get up
The
at
hockey
3 and
reference
spend
is funny.
$800 on equipment, sharpen some skates.
Yeah, it's exhilarating. So dive further into that. So when you said earlier, you feel like ads are destroying the consumer experience, and that's because what's being served is what's being paid for, right? Not necessarily what someone's looking for, but what is being paid to be served for that.
Yeah.
So when we're looking at using AI, ChatGPT, Copilot, they're supposed to be agnostic and really giving like a consumer what they're searching for, not what's being paid for.
Yeah, the ad business model gets corrupted by the greed of the publisher, because at some point, and they have little mechanisms to make it at least relevant. So
Yeah.
the downstream conversion and those things, it's somewhat relevant. But you'll notice, like, so here's a good example. My dogs love Veggie Dents, which is like a next generation.
You just had that
greenie.
like sitting there?
Well, yeah, we have an office dog, and it's almost Veggie Dent too. So I go to Amazon, and I'm like, and I have an order history. Like I don't do subscribe and save because then I'll end up with like 1,000 of something.
Completely
So I like to
understand.
just kind of like, so I go to Amazon, and I'm like, small dog Veggie Dent. I did the math on this. 90% of the pixels are not Veggie Dent; they're ads.
Mhm.
So you get into these categories, and this is where you guys live, right? These kind of micro parts of the site. If you do like your generic things, like I'm looking for shoes or something, it doesn't feel that bad. But when you start doing something specific, so many people are paying to show up above Veggie Dent, and it's in my order history. It should know that I order that, and I was
Number
lazy
one
and didn't
thing.
go to orders, and I just went that way. So
Mhm.
so it has gone way past enhancing the experience, and it has become the experience. It's basically a splash of ads that you have to hunt for what you're buying for, and I
Right.
think they're incented to do that because it's $60 billion that drops to the bottom line. There is no COGS. It's just free money that just splashes the bottom line. So because there's no competition for that user experience, they can do this. So Amazon needs competition, and I think they're about to get it, and I'm pretty excited about that.
I'm excited about that too. They do need it. That's why I'm sitting here cheering for Walmart, even though in the big picture, and they're doing great and they're killing it in grocery. If you look at the broad numbers, it's just like it's a pebble in the ocean. It's just not quite. It's going to be hard to catch up. So I'm excited, but explain how this is going to, what your vision of how this is actually like a consumer, how is this going to work?
Yeah, if you go to Retail Gentic, not to over promote it, but we need like a framework for talking about these things. So I came up with these 5 levels, and where are they? And I use the autonomous vehicle levels. So to me, level 0 is you're doing nothing, and level 5 is, if we could imagine, like the most awesome AI shopping experience ever. And to me, that's a full-on marketplace that, has all the things. It has your wallet. It understands. It says, Scott, you're about to go on your 3rd golf trip. I can see that. You're going to need another package of balls for other people in your party, and
And a towel to dry them off with.
Or it says, Summer, I can see you're going to Costa Rica. Here's some research, just in case. Here's the best ER departments by rating. Haley, I would pick on you. I just don't have anything to anchor on. And so imagine that. So it's going to be this like awesome personal assistant that just makes your life easier. And it's going to, I think moms are going to like have the most superpower, because they are dealing with so much stuff that every mom I talk to, they're like, I do my meal planning, I do this, I do that, I do my vacation. So there's, so that's what level 5 looks like. Where we are
I can't
today,
wait for level 5, because I know we're not there.
We're okay. So where we are today is Perplexity was ahead at what I call level 3. So you can go to Perplexity, and they have this Buy on Pro, and it's like the comparison shopping engine experiences of old. It's kind of like Google Shopping, but then it goes and sends an agent to buy for you. So that's pretty cool. So you're kind of transacting on Perplexity, but there's like this little dangling piece that can or cannot work. So to me, level 4 is they then become a marketplace. Like the transaction happens at Perplexity, ChatGPT, so on and so forth. Well, just yesterday or 2 days ago, we're recording this on Friday. On Wednesday, some brands or retailers leaked to the Financial Times that ChatGPT is out showing a checkout system where you would research products, find them on ChatGPT, and buy them right on ChatGPT. And you'll have a wallet, and it'll all happen on ChatGPT seamlessly. And in my mind, that's a marketplace, right?
Yeah.
And so now what you're going to have to do if you're a brand or retailer is send a data feed of product, an inventory feed, and get orders back. And what does that sound like? It's and I imagine there's going to be a Chat GPT Merchant Central, and there won't be first party. It'll probably all be third party. Look more like eBay kind of a setup, or a pure marketplace minus a 1P 3P hybrid type thing. And I think, and then in this world, you have to stay up. Once ChatGPT does it, Perplexity will do it, Anthropic will do it, Microsoft will do it, XAI will do it, and then we're going to see. So we're going to have 5 big horizontal players all investing hundreds of billions of dollars. Nothing we've ever seen in our e-commerce world. E-commerce is way down here compared to what these guys have capital-wise in totality. And then we're going to see, we have and I'm starting to do some podcasts on this. There's going to be a Cambrian explosion of vertical AI shopping experiences. There's a ton around apparel. There's one called, is it Daydream? There's a gifting one. There's sporting goods. There's going to be all these things that have a hyper vertical experience kind of a thing. So it's going to be there's going to be so much innovation happening here soon. I think we have a good shot of at least, and all it takes is, a lot of people argued on this post, some of the kind of crazy kind of people come out and they're like, they'll never put Amazon out of business. That's not what I'm saying. I don't think they're going to put Amazon out of business, but all you have to do is take half that 60 billion of ad revenue and like 10% of that marketplace revenue. Amazon's going to wake up and start doing things different, and they're going to start treating third-party sellers better, and everything will get better when there's a check and balance in the system of competition. That's my theory.
What's wild is those reviews will be absorbed and learned in that model as well from Amazon. And that's something that Amazon doesn't like to share. Oh, you can't, we are going to hold on to our reviews. You're not going to be able to, bizarre voice them or whatever. Like, this is ours. Yeah. So that has to do with the shopping behaviors. But now, okay, so tell me, what do you think the true benefit to the consumer is here when you can go onto ChatGPT now, say, I'm looking to buy a white sundress for my trip to Costa Rica that Summer's taking, and, 3 different ones pop up. One's probably an Amazon product. You click, you buy, you convert right then and there. So what benefit to the consumer do you think this is going to have?
It has better research. So if it's, and I'm guessing the white, whenever I buy clothes, I just buy the same thing I've always bought. But you guys, women tend to like buying new stuff. I don't know. Scott does it too. You can tell that he's probably got 6 of those golf shirts in his closet. I just have so many decisions. I don't want to make that a decision. I have to do it. So you're going to be researching, and you're going to say, well, I'm going to Costa Rica. I want something cotton, or maybe one of the athleisure fabrics. And it's very hard to do that across retailer right now. So the research piece is gets the most amplification because it's so good at it. And to your point, it has reviews. It has all the reviews. It has, someone in /r Costa Rica was talking about it on Reddit, and it also has, all the manufacturers' reviews. So it can say, here, you told me your criteria. Here's all the reviews in across the internet, some summary way, and think of how much time that would save you from doing it yourself.
Yeah, it's just not there yet. As you see, my office does not have furniture because I'm stuck on a certain chair I'm trying to find. So I go into ChatGPT. I give it a gazillion prompts of dimensions, price point. I'm seeing 90% of the time is the same results I'd see on Google.
Yeah, you should try Perplexity. They have a little bit broader.
Wonderful, I will. And the thing I
try a picture. Get a picture of the chair you want.
Yeah,
that's just it. There's not a picture because I know I have an idea of what I want.
Sketch it.
I could try.
Painters are expected to be a little different, so use your artist license.
That's such a cool idea.
But then going back to
someone artistically capable to sketch it.
See, now this is more work. I don't want to do work.
And it says, you're a painter. You can do weird things, and you can paint anything that you want on canvas. You can create your own world.
Exactly.
I wanted to know that I like to shop at Anthropologie. I like Crate and Barrel. Give me this style, which is what I told it, and it didn't find it. It's getting there. The other thing I found interesting was that I needed a new hair salon for my kid. And I went to Google. There's one I found, but there's so many reviews. And I'm like, I don't want to sort through these reviews. Which ones feature the word kids? And so far, I have not found an AI that can go in and search Google's reviews and pull out keywords from Google's reviews.
So they're all coming out with browsers. So Perplexity just came out with a browser called Comet, and ChatGPT is coming out with a browser. And then this is a high ground maneuver. I'm a Star Wars fan, so I always want the high ground.
Server Anakin, I have the high ground.
So once it's in your browser, imagine you guys probably use Chrome, I imagine, and once it has all the information in your browser, it can go see all that. So what you do is you open up that hair salon, and then you say to Comet, you open up this little assistant, you say, go through the reviews and tell me pros and cons for kids, and it'll do that instantaneously. So
and
which
one was
that's out
that?
now.
Perplexity?
They have a browser called Comet. Now they're very limited on, you have to pay for the very expensive one to get it, which I did because it's a business.
Of course.
But
you love the new toys. You're not shy.
I got to have the new toys. Yeah. Yes, I have a Vision Pro. I spend money on all that crazy stuff. But that is coming. So by this holiday, you'll have 3 options on that for sure.
Love that.
And it will do better at your crate and barrel example and your chair example, because So what's happening is a lot of these people, so today there's a server and it's sending a crawler down to Crate and Barrel and Anthropology. And many of these people, they just block bots indiscriminately. They're like bot bad and
right.
human good. But what they don't realize is by doing that, they're taking themselves out of the search index.
Yeah.
So number one, brands aren't really dialed in on this whole thing at all. So then one way around that is, what if it was at your browser? Now it looks like human. So it's indistinguishable from a human, because it literally is Summer. It is Haley. It's your browser, your session. If you're logged into Crate and Barrel on your browser, it's coming in as you. So now there's no way to block it. So the browser gives it infinite data access. Just whatever you can see, it can see. Whereas Operator and any of these server-based things can easily be blocked because they have a very, very easy to identify fingerprint, and most sites are blocking bots generally because they think they're bad actors, but they're not.
First of all, I mean, I'm all in on all that. Okay, so then the post that I did, that I kind of tagged you because you knew more about this, about some recent news. Again, this is changing. It's at warp speed beyond compare.
Yeah.
About the walled gardens, right? And then you wrote a great blog post on your Substack as far as, okay, what are these guys going to do? Because right now external traffic is very, very important to Amazon and to different places. So now how is this going to sort itself out?
Yeah, it's hard to predict what Amazon's going to do. Amazon 10 years ago was still what I would call a day one company with Bezos at the head. And, it doesn't act like that anymore. It's definitely lost. And I'm just talking about Amazon retail. Yeah. Amazon retail has lost this vision of, we're going to be the most customer centric company, because you can just feel it in the ads. It's like, we're going to asterisk, but if we can, we're going to throw as many ads up there, and we don't care about the customer experience as long as we make money. So there's that seems to have flipped on them, and that puts them into the innovator's dilemma, right? Because they're going to face this really hard, they're going to have to go to Wall Street one day and say, we're probably going to lose 30 billion of that 60 billion, and we're going to do it to make the customer experience better. We made a mistake. And that is, you do not want to be the CEO of Amazon. I don't know what their market cap. That's probably a 30% market cap haircut when you cut out 30 billion of margin. Yeah. That's going to be, they may be looking for a new gig somewhere. So that's the innovator's dilemma, is they've kind of stuck themselves in this place where they really need that ad revenue and the marketplace revenue. And I think it's going to become at risk at some point. And, so to get out of the innovator's dilemma, you either have to just attack it front on. That's what they did with Kindle. They were one of the first people to realize, okay, books are coming. We sell books. Let's come out. If we're going to get disrupted, let's do it ourselves. This one's going to be harder though, because they're going to have to sacrifice a big chunk of revenue, I think. And I don't know how they get out of it. And it's funny because Wall Street is caught on Google. Google is squarely in this problem with ChatGPT right now, and having a hard time getting out of it. And you're going to start to see it show up in their data. It hasn't quite yet. They've kind of been able to do some things to get out of it. But I think Amazon's going to be the next one to kind of fall into this. So it's hard to predict. What they should do is they should do what I just said. They should say, we realize that these ads aren't the best thing. We're going to double down on the marketplace. We're going to, we're going to go on a listening tour with a bunch of sellers and really understand what we need to do to make it. We hear you on the Chinese knockoffs. They're going to need to kind of change a lot of the things that have driven you guys crazy to make it through this. Now, will they? I don't know.
I think I disagree. And respectfully, of course.
It's totally fine. Yeah.
But okay, my experience with Amazon might be different than somebody else's. And, Scott and Summer, I think we all kind of have maybe a similar experience, but I don't want to speak for them either. Amazon doesn't care. They don't care about the vendors. They don't care about the selling partners. They don't care. You mentioned like taking a seller tour and really listening, talking about the Chinese competitors, 2 big points that are daily pains in my ass. And they don't care, Scott. So what do you think?
That's what they're going to have to do to survive, though. So at some point, they will face.
Do you think they'll actually do it? Because they just genuinely.
I think it's going to be. Usually the innovator's dilemma says once the company realizes it's really in an existential crisis, it's too late to get out of it.
Well, I love the Warren Buffett line, size is the enemy of performance. And it's because they are all about
show me the money.
That's all they care about. And that's the ads. And you're right. So that's the same thing with social though. With social, it's so gooped up with ads. It's not even a good consumer. It's not a great experience on Instagram, on whatever. It's just
clearly I'm dehydrated and I need a weighted vest because oh my God. Leave me alone. I just want to see some Real Housewives social media information. Come on.
Gosh.
So
yeah.
we're going to take a quick break, Scott. But basically, I distill this again, Arizona State guy, I have to simplify it. We thought, and a lot of people thought, that social commerce, if they ever figured that out, where they could actually, collapse the funnel to discovery, they had such a high consumer adoption that if they sold stuff, which we're seeing a little bit, but it's not equating into a big enough, the meter's just not big enough. But so you're saying LLMs and basically agentic AI and this whole thing is probably got a better shot at competing with the traditional marketplaces.
Yeah, because they have the high ground.
I have the high ground.
So ChatGPT they launched in Q4 of 22, and they have 800 million weekly active users. And the chart is, it's a hockey stick, Summer. So,
and Amazon's cheap response to that, because we all know they don't want to spend money to, like you're saying, to really invest in this technology. Okay, Rufus.
Rufus
it's awful.
Yeah,
and
Rufus
we don't
is
get any data on it. Like maybe we see a little bit sometimes in the ad console or whatever we're looking at, but there's no clarity on the data. It doesn't learn, at least in my experience. It's not learning. I search the same thing all the time and has no idea.
I guarantee you, some senior exec at Amazon is seeing the data that their traffic and time spent on site is decreasing, and they have figured out it's LLMs, and they know this is a threat.
Yeah.
Now, will they do something is the big question.
That's my question.
Yeah. History shows The Innovator's Dilemma by Clay Christensen's great book, a little academic, but it teaches us, and we've all been in e-commerce. I've met the CEO of Borders, Circuit City, Sears. You worked there. They were like, it's just a fad.
Yeah.
People love I went to the Borders guy was like, people love our store so much, they're willing to pay more. So we will, our internet, we're not really going to put books on the site because they love the store. They love the coffee. And it's like,
it's not wrong. I do love the store. I do love the coffee.
But this is the famous Fred Smith quote that you guys, Jason, you guys talk about all the time. They're never. It's too complex. The shipping business is too complex. Well, now Amazon fits more. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we want your view. Okay, we've set the table of what is happening and what is going to happen. Now, if you're a brand, if you're a seller, a merchant, if you're a retailer, what the heck do you do? Everybody inside the industry is like, you got to do this, you got to do this. What do you really have to do? Where are we going? More with Scot Wingo when we come back.
What's up, everyone? I'm Gloria Chow, small biz PR coach, and you're listening to Always Off Brand.
We are back with Scot Wingo. Loving this conversation around AI and what is happening to how the consumers are doing their research. But let's pivot to the brand side and retail side. What can brands do to be on top of this and ahead of it? They don't want to fall behind where, we're still telling brands today, you need to mobile optimize your images. Like, you should have been doing this 15 years ago. What can you say to a brand today that they're not going to look back and like, I should have done this 15 years ago?
Yeah, you have to so let's start at the foundational part of these LLMs is they love context and content and authority.
Mm-hmm.
In our SEO world, authority was PageRank, like it's a popularity backlinks thing. This is done by natural language, right? So let's I'll pick on Scott and golf balls. So let's say you've got some Titleist golf balls. It doesn't care about inbound links.
That's too expensive. Good.
Let's say you've got the Kirkland golf balls.
Thank you. That's my jam.
It's going to look. It's consumed the whole internet, so it's going to be able to tie Kirkland golf ball Model 10, or I'll make that up. I don't actually know. Yeah. And it's going to, it's going to find some golf enthusiast website, Reddit, and what people are saying, and that's where authority comes from. So it has the whole internet in its digital head, and it maps all that to give authority. Okay. So any questions on those? So content, context, and authority. Those are the big three. CCA or ACC or how you want to say it. So that's what brands should do. So, first of all, SEO is dead. As an industry, we haven't settled in on what the new term is. You'll hear there's like 6 of them. There's GEO, which is Gen AI engine optimization. There's AEO, which is answer engine optimization, and then the LEO, which is LLM engine optimization. Let's just go with GEO, so I don't have to say all of them every time.
You could go with any of the 3.
Yeah. So let's just go with GEO to make it simpler. There's 80 tools already out there right now, and they're super basic. So they're just basically saying, let's take the Always Off Brand podcast, and we're going to run a bunch of prompts and see what the sentiment is for this podcast. And it'll be like, Summer and Haley are very positive, and Scott is like super curmudgeon-y. And you're like, okay. And then it'll chart it over time, and it's just like, the curmudgeon scale and the positive scale, ER visits, all that good stuff. So it's a super high brand awareness kind of sentiment today. That's where most of the tools are. So what I think as a brand you want to do is take some sample of your SKUs. And the other thing is we have, whether you're putting it on your site or a marketplace, PDPs are designed for humans. And what the LLM would want is, so humans want cool pictures. They want to try the dress on. They want to see a variety of models, body shape, all this kind of visual stuff. We're more visual shoppers. The LLMs, they have that capability, but they would be happy with like an 80-page PDF of your product, like everything you could possibly know about your product.
Right.
So we're going to enter this time.
Is that where we're going to be at?
Well, that's because they're
going to need to make bigger phones.
So let's use the white dress. One of the things that can frustrate people that are buying this is it can be very hard to compare the material, all the different things about it. And, the LLM will go figure all that out, and it wants to. It even wants to know compatibility. It wants to know if you took anything that has to be compatible with something else, it wants to know all that too. And so on and so forth, or an auto part, it's going to know all the fitment and those types of things. But there's a reason for it. That's how it's going to make really smart recommendations. It also, if you have any reviews, you need to make sure the engines are getting those, because those are super important. Yeah. And a lot of websites have it hidden in this JSON. If you're using one of the mini widgets that kind of like will throw a review on there, most of the sites that are crawling are missing that, we've discovered. So the good news is they're all opening merchant centers, and this is all public information. Perplexity has one, ChatGPT has one, Copilot is through Bing. But we as an industry got used to this Google Shopping data feed standard. I know Summer knows a lot about this. And, it's kind of like lazy feeds, for lack of a better word, because there's like 2 or 3 required things, and it's going to be your variant information and, like some basics like brand. And
it's like a new item setup.
Yeah, but it's pretty basic. And then there's all these optional attributes. Well, you now need, in the LLM world, optional is no longer, it's optional. Yeah. Do you want sales or not? Do you want to show up? So you're going to have to go and really expand your attributes. So I think we're going to be, the product catalog is we're kind of have to go and kind of 3.0, the product catalog is going to be really important. And and again, what you want to do is put more context in there. Like for this particular dress, what are some good use cases for it? It's good for going to the beach, or is it more of a knit and it's like more of a cold weather dress? And you may not actually put a lot of that on the PDP because you want it to look kind of tight and clean and have 4 or 5 bullets. You don't want 80 bullets, but the LLM needs 80 bullets to be able to do things better. So those are some of the things you can start doing today that don't require coding or anything else. Is just like work on bulking up the data associated with every product that you or your clients have.
So you would look to like a software like Salsify to get better at like having those inputs available.
Yeah, the only thing I know about PIMS is everyone that has one doesn't like it.
Complains about it. Yes.
So I don't really understand that world, to be honest with you.
But it's better than an Excel shared in a SharePoint that 90 people touch and save under a different name.
Yeah.
My only problem with that is it's so category and subcat specific. If Amazon changes the backend attributes, like opens up a new field, the PIM, in my experience, doesn't tell you that. So like, okay, maybe you have a field now where you can type in fabric, I'm just using that as an example, or texture, whatever it may be. Holy smokes, I've got 3,500 items in my catalog right now. How do we identify those? So that's
throw it into
Chat
GPT.
Yeah. So how do you manage the data? How do you identify the gaps? I guess that's just understanding your category and your products.
Yeah. If you're a manufacturer, usually you have it. It's just like in some other part of the company, right? So
Correct.
It may be a lot of that may be out in an ERP, like an SAP or. And Haley, you work for a manufacturer, right?
I do.
So,
U.S. manufacturer. Yeah.
Can you say what ERP they use?
Yeah. So if I get stuck with my words, we're with D365 is what we're using.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but somewhere in there is like every detail about your product, right? And
it's a Microsoft-based ERP.
Okay. Oh, Dynamics. That's right. Okay.
Yeah. Dynamics 365.
I got you.
Sorry.
And in there is some stuff that's not even making it into your traditional digital experience, right? But so that's where I would go look for a lot of it. And you want to just, and because the Google shopping feed is standard, that's what most of these merchant centers will accept. But you just like want to include ancillary data, as much as you can provide. You almost like want to dump it out of your ERP and like really give detailed data about what's going on.
Okay, so where
such a juicy nugget.
That is
I can't tell if I'm confusing you or you're happy.
I'm happy and I'm thinking.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. All right. That's thinking.
that's a new job opportunity for somebody.
Yeah.
Okay. So
the other thing is you can ask the LLMs. You can say to the LLMs, and Haley, what does your company make?
RV parts and accessories.
You can actually say, and you should try this, like take the union of 3 of these because they can diverge from each other a lot. So do it on 3 of the engines and then kind of like, take the lowest common denominator, the things that are common, and make a human judgment. You always have to be human in the middle on this stuff.
Yeah.
Say to it, hey, if I was going to be selling an RV side mirror, which is probably frequently knocked off, I'm going to guess, how would I, what attributes are people looking for? And it will actually, because it has, remember, it's got the whole internet's knowledge in its head, and it's seen everyone talk about. There's like probably 800,000 RV, websites that talk about side mirrors, and it's going to tell you. So it's done the research for you. So use it as your research partner as you go work on this.
And then
now don't go to the point where it actually tells you what the attributes should be, because that's where it's going to really go out and start hallucinating. So there's like Scott, this is where we got to work with you. There's like this edge of where it's going to hallucinate because it really wants to answer you, and it'll just like make up stuff. It's like that friend that always, is an expert on everything, and you're like, this guy has no idea what he's talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
And so you kind of have to like, it's like that. But if you ask it, the things that are safe to ask are things it should know by reading every piece of text on the internet.
Yeah, I'm still a newbie. I'm a rookie. So the other thing is we can't ignore the advertising, and we can't ignore in the current agency ecosystem. And this is the fun. I love the faux beef between Kerry Masters and Jason Goldberg on this as far as retail media networks. There's a lot of talk, and I think this is just an evolution, that there's some disruption as far as what agencies do for brands and retailers and large companies and all the consultancies. Where do you see that coming as far as an advertising retail media, because everybody's chasing this of, oh, well, we have these programmatic programmatic SaaS companies. Well, AI can do this, AI can do that. Where are we there?
Yeah, there's one. So one fun thought experiment is like, what if this becomes so popular that traditional web traffic just kind of goes away, right? Because why would you do that if you've got this super brain that can find stuff for you out on what we previously called the internet? I don't think that's going to happen. When I was in my 20s, I was like, e-commerce is so awesome, it'll be 100% retail. Why would anyone go to a store? That obviously didn't play out. We're stuck at like 16 or 20%, right? So I think it's probably going to shoot up way faster than anything in our careers cumulatively. It's going to shoot up very fast and be very disruptive, which I think is what gives me a little bit of hope Amazon will be freaked out, because I think they've never encountered A, competition, and B, competition that's going to come at them so hard and fast. I think RMN is going to take a huge dip because there is going to be some pretty material amount of traffic that stops going to websites. We're seeing it already. There's a Barron's article and a Wall Street Journal article.
We just saw it for Prime Day.
Yeah, you saw it for Prime Day. Yeah, maybe Prime Day was soft because of this. That would not be crazy. We don't. Only Amazon knows in ChatGPT. They know.
Excuse me.
Yeah. So I think I'm not super bullish on RMNs. Jason isn't, for a different reason. He just basically thinks it's all Amazon and third-party sellers. I'm not bullish on it because I think there's going to go through a rough period here where website traffic renormalizes to about 80% of where it is today, maybe lower, maybe it's 90. Let's say I think you're going to lose 10 to 40% of website traffic in the next 2 years.
So
to these AI chat,
to the Gen AIs.
But in this, you've talked about this. So Sam Altman, the OpenAI guy, he's kind of hedged a little bit that we're do affiliate, we'll sell stuff and we'll make a little percentage, but then he's like, oh, I don't see us doing advertising. But
and if they don't do ads, what's that mean for agencies? Then I think you guys need to pivot and get good at people. There's still going to be complexity in the world. At the source of what you guys do is help people. You take this, you buffer the complexity and help people navigate through it. Right.
Yeah.
And you're pulling economic levers. I think all that will be the same. It's just going to be a different format. It's not going to be ads. It's going to be marketplaces. Which ones do I sell on? There's going to be an equivalent of a buy box type of a thing we're going to have to think about. There's going to be 3PL considerations in this new world. There's going to be maybe there is more of a sponsored listing type thing. I don't know. I think they have such a big TAM that they can go get. They don't need advertising, which,
right.
So I'm not really sure they'll ever do advertising, but if they do, that will be a thing you can help with. But I think there's going to be plenty of wood to chop in the next 3 years, just dealing with the pace of this change, helping people get their product catalogs figured out. What do you sell on which, this kind of was like how marketplaces started. We kind of viewed them all as the same, and then they get more nuanced. There's certain things you want to put on Walmart, and eBay, and Target, and certain merchants they want, and this, that, and the other. Right. So I think that's where agencies can still add value, is helping people navigate this.
See, I can be optimistic. I'm fired up about there's too much consolidation. There's too much power in Walmart and Amazon and the total pie. They just get more and more of it. So I'm all in. I'm fired up. I'm jacked up about LLMs in this whole new world that we're going to. I can get into that. I'm just trying to parse out, where I sit in all of that. I don't, I'm excited about it. I remember when the internet came out.
Yeah. Remember, you were in Vendor Central and you were in there figuring it out for your clients, and then
you're right. And
it's
then
gonna be like that again.
And you're like, what are you doing? That's a bad technology. You should.
Bad bot. Do you think there'll be an opportunity for ChatGPT to sell all of that search data to these media networks? They've got the platforms, they've got the inventory available. How do we give the buyer more data to make decisions, or et cetera?
ChatGPT realizes that data is gold dust, and I don't think they'd ever sell it. So they're going to use that data to train their models to say, we know Summer so well, we're going to present her with this chair that we're pretty sure she needs. And it's going to blow your mind.
I can't wait.
Doing this stuff.
That's
what it's going to feel
so
like.
bad.
So I don't think they have an incentive to sell the data.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
unless if they cross the chasm, I could be wrong. At some point, they could get so greedy they cross into the ads. I think Sam, he hasn't said this, but I'm kind of reading the tea leaves. I think he shares my opinion that Amazon really jumped the shark with ads. And it has degraded the user experience. And I think he sees that as their weak spot. And I think that's why he's saying he's not going to do it.
I do think Amazon could, this is going back, but I'm like, if they just removed 4 sponsored product searches, ad results on their main SERP and slowly peeled it back. They're getting Roku, they're getting Disney, they're getting these other opportunities to kind of backfill. They could do it, but I think to Haley's point, I don't know how much they care. If they see conversion rate drop, they'll make a change.
Well, that's what I'm hopeful. I'm with you. I hope that some of this actually wakes them up and say, hey, guess what? We got to pivot. We got to change the architecture.
Or what happens in the innovator's dilemma when people are stuck in it is they do more of the bad thing to help fill the hole. So Blockbuster, remember, they were like, so the Blockbuster got to a point where, they went from like $10 rentals, not a bad late fee, to like $5 big late fee. And then finally they were like, you can have the movie free, but if for a day, but if you're late, it's going to be $1,000. So they were like, as they were losing traffic, they just kept doing the thing that made them, because the financial people running it, the Excel spreadsheet said you could do that, but the Excel spreadsheet doesn't worry about the customer experience.
Or
so
maybe
one signal we'll see is if they start to do more ads. I wouldn't be surprised if they do more ads, which seems counterintuitive, but this web traffic's coming down, so their ad revenue is going to go down. So one way to do that, if they're stuck in the innovator's dilemma, the signal will be they'll do more ads, which would not surprise me.
Or they could do more ads and then give you kind of like TSA pre-check, give you a level of clear, like prime clear.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys a question because you're closer to this. This Prime Day, did they seem like kind of desperate to sell you ads?
Oh, at least for me, yeah.
What's that tell us?
Yeah.
Yeah,
but as a consumer, I would pay an extra $5 a month to have less ads on my Amazon shopping experience.
ChatGPT is $20. No ads.
We have a game show. It could be outdated as we record this. Like I talk about, what's that keyword coming up? Scott, are you up to play this game?
I am. I've listened to some pods. I'm going to do my best. We'll see how it goes.
All right, we'll be back.
Haley's good at asking hard ones, so I'm not sure how I'm going to do. I've watched other guys just totally flounder around. So we'll see.
No one flounders, never, other than Scott.
All right, what's that keyword coming up right after this?
Hey, this is PVSB from the CPG Guys podcast, and you are listening to the Always Off Brand podcast.
Finally, a game show nerdier than an Excel V lookup. It's time for What's That Keyword? Here's your host, Haley on the news.
Oh, today's going to be a freaking fantastic keyword game because Scot Wingo stuck around to play. All right, Scott, I know you're a pro, but you're new here, so let me lay down the rules. I'm going to give you a product that is sold on Amazon.com, and you have to guess the keyword or keyword phrase that converted for this product. No Googling, no using your AI. Here we go. Fingers up. Let me see those hands.
Hands off the keyboard.
Hands off the keyboards. All right. Your first product is a pop-up beach cabana. Pop-up beach cabana. We're in the middle of summer. People are taking their vacations. Summer's taking family trips. I'm not going anywhere. Ooh.
All right. I know you like kind of weird ones, so I'm going to say
pop-up beach cabana.
The phrase is something about how do I sunbathe naked on the beach? It's gonna be something edgy like that.
Privacy shade.
Privacy shade.
Is that your guess, Summer?
No, I was trying to help Scott out.
Oh, okay. Scott didn't get it. Summer?
Yeah, you get like naked sunbathing. I'm gonna go with pop-it shade.
Ooh.
Pop-up shade.
Ooh, wow.
Okay. Nope. Gotta go.
No sunburn shade.
Not
one more.
No,
Shaboomy.
you only get one guess.
Well,
Shaboomy?
no, it's okay.
All right.
What is
fine.
Shaboomy?
Shaboomy?
Have you guys ever seen the Shaboomies?
Yeah.
No.
It's in North Carolina.
They're not great, but
yeah. Well.
Sorry, Shaboomy. All right. I was looking for sandbag tent. Sandbag tent.
Oh, yeah, because we fill it with the sand. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Sandbag tent. I know it wasn't dirty. You guys had me thinking like maybe I should have made this dirty.
Well, we're so used to it.
Spicy. I'm used to more spicy ones.
Yeah, exactly.
Spicy?
Show me the product next, and I think maybe they'll help.
That's cheating.
No way, Jose. All right. Your next product is a robot pool vacuum.
Pool boy.
Oh. Cabana boy.
No and no. Scott Wingo, what do you have?
I have a clarifying question because this is an area I'm very strong in. Is this a
suction or pools?
Is this pools? Is this a skimmer on the top or a robot that does the bottom?
It's a robot that does.
It's a robot.
It's a robot that does the bottom. I can't even say it. My face is
Floor.
red.
Let me use the word floor. I'll use the word floor instead of bottom. You guys are silly.
Do I have my timer?
I know.
Dolphin pool cleaner.
Dolphin pool cleaner.
Dolphin pool cleaner.
Is that it?
Oh my gosh, no. All right. I was looking for cordless suction for pools.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Is it cordless?
You don't want the cordless. It dies at the bottom of the pool,
can
and
you
you
see
gotta
my
dive in
screen?
and get it.
No, I can't. I can't put it up. You haven't presented anything.
I
yet.
still think it should be called Pool Boy. That should be the brand name.
I agree.
Oh my gosh, it should be.
Pool boy.
Oh yeah, look at it.
It looks like one
Yeah,
of the wireless
That's not
lawnmowers.
I've
It's
tried
got
a lot
an
of
app.
these.
I mean, this thing is like
Yeah, it's not gonna
Pretty-
work. Well. It's gonna,
pretty
the battery's
strict.
gonna die, and you're gonna have to go diving for that thing. The dolphin, for all the listeners that are interested in cleaning the floor of your pool, not the bottom of the floor, you want the corded version that's a dolphin. It's way better than this.
Love it.
Another pro tip, I tell you, you're just full of them. Fantastic. I was wrong again. Summer didn't win. That makes me happy.
but we did have some fun with the keywords. Scott Wingo,
Those were good.
that was freaking fantastic. All right. We'll be back in just an AI digital second with the news.
Hey, this is Jason Del Rey, and you're listening to the Always Off-Brand podcast.
Well, that's all been fun and games, but it's that time, the time America has been waiting for. It's time for the news.
Well, it's back in the news again. We always talk about sustainability and tariffs and all of these hot topics right now in e-com. Let's talk about Shein. Just this week, they've announced that they are going to start testing brick and mortar physical retail stores. So they've been doing pop-ups here and there. And when they do the pop-ups, there's been one in LA, there's been one in New York, big cities. The lines have wrapped around the building. People just can't get enough of this cheap, one-time use, just let's talk about the labor practices. Let's talk about sustainability. There's so many things and questions that are like coming up with this. What do you guys think? Do you think it's sustainable? Like just as a business model? Do you think it's a great idea? Holy smokes.
It feels like a remake of Forever 21.
I was thinking that. Yeah.
Or like it feels like an H&M, because to me H&M was Shein. It's just
fast
piles
fashion
and piles of clothes. That's current style. You'd have to dig through bins. It's just I can't go there, but maybe my 17-year-old self could.
Yeah, everybody.
Or I'd like
loves
put
the-
my head in like my like teen body. Is that something that would interest me?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, Gen Z they're all over this.
But Gen Z is also supposed to be all over sustainability and caring about culture of a company.
Stated preference, observed preference.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. They speak with their
Yeah.
wallet.
Yeah.
Okay, so your co-host Jason Goldberg is in. I got to meet finally to E-Tail Spring one time, and he again at that time. So Temu, however you pronounce it, and Shein, they were combined and TikTok Shop. They were a huge threat in the commerce. Temu's vanished. Shein's. This is maybe another ad. So I mean, Scott, what do you think? Where are we? Is this
tariffs and the end of what's that thing where they can ship for free?
de minimis,
Yeah,
which
de
again,
minimis.
he actually they had reversed that. He just came out with a thing with he's basically going to let it be again in 2 years. Or something.
Yeah. I think that's killed the whole model. And I think that's good. not to be political, but they're just dumping cheap is the Chinese seller problem, just in a different flavor, really. Yeah. And it's wish.com and all this kind of stuff. It's junky. It's bad for the user experience. People think they're going to get this amazing drone, and it ends up being like, smaller than a quarter. Whatever is being sold on these things, the Shein garments are just going to like melt after you dry them, whatever happens.
Well, not to mention the labor scrutiny that they've been under, just for working conditions, forcing people to work long, just unrealistic hours. Well, France just filed a $47 million lawsuit against Shein for misleading consumers about sustainability claims and fake discounts. So, the EU is sort of a pioneer in all of these identifications, and hey, this is a big deal. Like, let's go after them for this. They go after Amazon. They go after, big guys too. And so it's nice to see the EU kind of taking a stance against it. But here we are as Americans saying, that shirt's 50 cents. I'm going to go buy it.
We can't stay away from the cheap shit. We can't. I mean, you ever been to a warehouse sale? I mean, golf balls for free. I'm sorry. I'm in.
Well, okay. So
there's a value-oriented consumer. Scott is it, and he will go get a free golf ball. He'll wait in line 6 hours for that golf ball.
Exactly.
Not for him, but for his friends.
SKU counts too, and just the logistics of the SKU counts. I mean, they launch about 2,000 new SKUs daily. Okay.
Gross.
Think about it. The designers are filing IP infringements. There's a lot of stuff going on. So they're constantly just rotating through these different SKUs. So, all right. So on average, how many SKUs do you think they're going to carry in the store? Apparel is already exponentially deep in their SKU counts. So when we talk about assortments, how is that going to be sustainable? How are they going to logistically ship it, store it, manage it? Like, this is an entirely different ball game. And you're right, Summer. I guess Forever 21 and H&M, they've been doing this for decades now, but I just feel like this is at a little bit of a different scale. And I don't know, it's just inherently unsustainable in my opinion.
At the pop-ups, was it newer stuff or just like excess inventory they were dumping?
I don't know.
Did you guys ever go to a pop-up? Yeah. My bet is because of the shipping time and everything, I bet it's not going to be the hot new 2,000 SKUs. It's going to be stuff that didn't sell that they have extras of.
Could be.
It's going to be a liquidation model would be my guess.
Well, great. So we're going to have just random crap that nobody wants in these stores.
It's like TJ Maxx, but Shein flavor.
There you go. That's exactly it. Which is very popular and very successful.
All right. Well, that's it for the news today. This has been a freaking fabulous episode. We'll be back to wrap it up in just a minute in Summer's favorite portion, the wrap up.
I'm Kiri Masters, and this is Always Off Brand.
If 28-year-old Summer could see her now. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe we had Scot Wingo on our show.
Unbelievable. What a kind and generous guy.
So nice, so soft-spoken, so kind.
But God, didn't you just learn a ton about where we are and where we're going?
Yeah, I felt kind of silly being like, this is the thing I did on ChatGPT. It didn't really work for me. And he's like, chill, it's coming. Like, and by the way, I paid for all this, so it's already there. You're a noob.
The cliche is today is the dumbest it's ever going to be.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's like, I always like, when you look at your child when they're first born, you're like, they'll never be this young again. It's like that, like every day that the leaps and bounds it's making is so impressive. And I do think most brands are not thinking about it enough. That's what I believe. I believe they are not seeing it as an opportunity to get ahead.
Yeah, because it's not in the spreadsheet. It's not in the dashboards today. It's not showing a return, right? They can't. Yeah. Everybody's obsessed with, I put this in, I want something out. Show me the money, right? Show me
incrementality,
Yes. And so it's not actionable quite yet. It is in certain sections and certain things. And that's kind of his point. I'm honestly, he's 100% right. Amazon is too big. They're too lazy. It isn't a great shop. It's never really been a great shopping experience. Let's just be honest. It's a product in a box. I mean, let's just be clear.
People still choose it 80% of the time.
Because the convenience. The convenience is crazy, and you feel a value and you trust it.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for this whole new world and how he speaks about it. And I can't tell you, when I sent him an email and he took the meeting in 2014 at his channel advisor's office when he was the CEO, and he sat with me for 2 flipping hours explaining to me the technology and all the behind the scenes on how first party vendor central EDI versus API, all this stuff, how it works. I was just like, it's just what he's an industry leader. You want to talk about, I don't like the whole thought leader. He's a thought leader because he's thinking about shit that I can't wrap my brain around. And why do we have cool people on here, Summer?
Because people matter, and you are listening to Always
Woof
Brand.
Please like, please subscribe, please share. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Toodaloo.
Hey there, this is Haley from Quickfire, and they want me to read this so you know what this podcast is part of and how to find out more if you want. Always Off Brand is a production of Quickfire LLC and a part of the Learn and Laugh series on the Quickfire Podcast Network. For more information, go to quickfirenow.com. Have a good one, and thanks for listening.